Shalom, Yasha'Allah. First and foremost, we give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakak Wadash, the Malasai apostles, the elders, the great millstone, Ruel. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect that's pushing this great gospel of sincerity and truth. That's your brother Tazakah Yahweh from the great millstone, Cincinnati, Count. Coming at you another lesson through the spirit and the power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai. Lord willing, be edifying. Got the article from apnews.com, and it reads, Quake shakes northwest Nepal, killing at least 128 and injuring dozens. Officials fear toll to rise. And this came out November 4th, 2023. And it reads, helicopters and ground troops rush to help people hurt in a strong earthquake that shook districts in northwestern Nepal just before midnight Friday, killing at least 128 people and injuring dozens more, officials said Saturday. Authorities said the death toll was expected to rise, noting that communications were cut off with many places. At the regional hospital in the city of Nepalganj, more than 100 beds were made available and teams of doctors stood by to help the injured. It says, I was fast asleep when all of a sudden it started shaking violently. I tried to run, but the whole house collapsed. I tried escaping, but half my body got buried in the debris, said Bimal Kumar Karki, one of the first two people to be brought to the regional hospital. It says, got the news, a glance at some of Nepal's deadliest earthquakes. So they definitely begin hit with a few, frequently. Let's see. Nepal villagers cremate loved ones who perished in an earthquake that killed 157 people. So they said 128. So I guess, like I said, the death toll rose up to 157. It says, I screamed, but every one of my neighbors were in the same situation and screaming for help. It took nearly a half an hour to an hour before rescuers found me, he said. The United States Geological Survey said the earthquake had a preliminary magnitude of 5.6 and occurred at a depth of 11 miles. Nepal's National Earthquake Monitoring and Research Center said this epicenter was at Jharkhand, which is about 400 kilometers or 250 miles northeast of the Nepalese capital, Kathmandu. It says as day broke Saturday, rescue helicopters flew into the region to help out, and security forces on the ground were digging out the injured and dead from the rubble. Nepal police spokesperson Kubar Kadayat says troops were clearing roads and mountain trails that were blocked by landslides triggered by the earthquake. So not only was the earthquake, but landslides were triggered, which also killed that's a killer as well. Pretty much the earth in itself, mudslides is just moving and shifting. And it's just people it collapses on top of people and just, you just get buried in the rumble and ultimately, die from being crushed or, suffocation, whatever the case may be. But it says helicopters flew and medical workers and medicines to the hospital there. Too far. Prime Minister Pushma Kamal Dahal also flew on a helicopter with a team of doctors. Dahal led an armed communist revolt in 1996 to 2006 that began from the districts that were hit by a quake. Matter of fact, let me see. Just looking at this, pretty much. That's pretty much, all that. I don't need to read all that, but it's about the different districts and so forth and so on. But so yeah, here we have it with this. It was something real quick. This earthquake that was in Nepal, and then something else that I have is this storm. What's this? Ciaran. It says it brings It says it brings record rainfall to Italy with at least 6 killed. European death toll rises to 14. And this came out November 3rd, 2023. Showing some of the flood waters in this image. I should show some other images in that article, but as you can see, I'm just going to read a little bit of this as well, not too much of it. It says, record-breaking rain produced floods in a vast swath of Italy's Tuscany region as Storm Ciaran, I believe, said pushed into the country overnight. trapping residents in their homes, inundating hospitals, and overturning cars. At least 6 people in Italy, at the time, and 1 person in Albania were killed on Friday, bringing the storm's death toll to 14 across Europe this week. Throughout the day, the storm brought more death and destruction as it moved eastward across the continent. In Albania, police said a motorist died when he lost control while driving a car, which slid and hit barriers. Many roads in the country were flooded, including in the capital, Tirana. It said huge waves pummeled the Adriatic shores of the Balkans, and strong winds uprooted trees and ripped off roofs. Ferries connecting Croatia's islands with the coastline were halted. It says Italian Civil Protection Authority said that 200 millimeters, or nearly 8 inches of rain, fell in a 3-hour period from the coastal city of Livorno to the inland valley of Mugello and caused riverbanks to overflow. Videos showed at least dozens of cars being swept away down the flooded road. So other news is say 40 people dead in Kenya and Somalia as heavy rains and flash floods displaced thousands. 2 killed as flooding hits Kenya, sweeping away homes and destroying roads. It says Libya's eastern government holds conference on reconstruction of coastal cities destroyed by floods. So hey, how about you? I visited this place, with the storms as well, wreaking judgment and havoc in that sense. It says Tuscany Governor Eugenio Gianni said that 6 people died in a storm which dumped an amount of rainfall not recorded in the last 100 years. So, hey, as we get closer and closer to the end, these storms are going to be more violent, they're going to be more frequent, and a lot more lives are going to be lost. Because while we're in a time of great death, that Yahweh Bashim Yashai is ushering in the world. It says there was a wave of water bombs without precedents, Gianni told Italian news channel, Sky, whatever. So, like I said, not to get too much in that, that's pretty much the sentiment on that. So, like I said, you got 2 deadly, situations that Yahweh Bashim Yashai brought forth. But I'm going to start right here, 2 Ezra chapter 9, because this is evident that, we are to be, like I say, measure these times, seeing what's going on in the world, tying to the scriptures, seeing it more frequently, seeing things, popping off here and there. Hey, this is a time of, we're in the time of prophecy, right? People think that the biblical days are over with. No, we still in them. These are biblical days. Right, it's just been fast forward from the time periods of 2,000 years ago, so from so on. Now we're in those latter times that the scriptures that those events that passed 1,000 years ago, now they come to pass today in real time. So this is 2 Ezra chapter 9 verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which the signs goes into the prophecies. Right, where are the prophecies written? Where would you find them? In no other place but what? The Bible, the Holy Bible, the Hebrew Bible, the scriptures, right? That's how you're going to measure the times diligently, because while you're measuring those signs, which is what the prophecies, and you tie it to what the scriptures say, this is how you will understand where you are, biblically, in the in the world to this day. Because like I said, people think that everything already done came to pass in the Bible, or it ain't real, or this or that, but there was things, written aforetime for our learning. So it was things that was written back then that's ultimately what's going to take part in today's time. So that's why you measure when you see wars, rumors of wars, pestilences, plagues, talks to the MOTB, that CHIP that they're going to put in you. When you see these things, hey, you refer back what? To the scriptures. It says, which I had told thee before, is that then shalt thou understand that it's a very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made, because the Lord is not going to let wickedness be run, that's run rampant in the world through the power, through the philosophies and doctrines, the mannerisms of Esau, Edom. They was only set up for a point in time. Like I said, his boundaries, he has boundaries that he cannot pass. So they empower for a little season. But after this, their little season be fulfilled, what Yahweh Bashim Yashai will step in, he gonna take them out. But until then, these things he set them up through the prophecies, for them to come to pass in his order, how he want them to. So at the end of the day, as long as this man, is in power, and we seeing that we getting close to the end, more violence and more, evil, more wickedness, but ultimately more prophecies are going to come to pass, right? And that's ultimately that's the Lord visiting this place, right? It say, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and upwards of the people in the world, right? Like I said, this earthquake, the earthquakes is like, hey man, they have the Richter, so to speak. They just going off, every 10 minutes ago, an hour ago, 2 hours ago, so forth and so on. But again, these earthquakes, people look at them as just a light thing, a natural disaster. No, these are part of the prophecy that you have about Shem Shai. Right? Say, then thou shalt well understand. So when these things come to pass, while you measure the times through the scriptures, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning, because why? He declared the end of the world before the beginning. Everything that's going to play out, everything going to come to pass, it already was, it was already, put together, so to speak. Like the Lord is the, Yahweh Shem Shai is the ultimate director. So everything was already put in sync and how it's going to fulfill, how it's going to manifest and fulfill itself, in these latter days. So ain't no offset and no up and throw a monkey wrench in the plan. No, everything is going according to plan that Yahweh Shem Shai set up. So that's all on that. So again, showing that look, it's just a storm. It's just this and that, but no, this is the Lord visiting this place. Isaiah 29 verse 6. Thou shalt be visited of the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai hosts, right, with thunder, and with what? Earthquake, and great noise, and with storm and tempest, right? Like they was met with storm Sirach, whatever the hell, Sirach, no, but whatever it's called today, like I said, the earthquakes. These is visitations from Yahweh Shem Shai, and the flame of devouring fire, because people was like, oh, the Lord was here, the Lord come, and this, that, and that. Man, when the Lord come, man, he's wreaking havoc upon this place, like especially in that grand visitation when he sent his only begotten Son and the holy angels here to wreak havoc. But before then, these things, like I said, with these wars, and got the missiles, got the, the pestilences, the famines, the strife, the sedition, all this and that. And the Lord gonna visit, and more storms and tornadoes and hurricanes. These are ways that the Lord visits you, right? It's like, let me go here. And then I love to read this because, our people, like Jake don't know no better, man. Jake's stupid, Jake's childish, Jake only care about stuff that don't matter. He try to help out Jake and tell him, hey, what's the proper way to do this, the proper way to do that. By the law, Yahweh Shem Shai, and they want to scoff and mock. So, hey, once the hand is extended out and you keep slapping it away, well, guess what? Then judgment comes. Then that hand that was supposed to help you, hey, now is the hand that's coming against you, right? Because the Lord say, well, he will stretch out his arm against you, all right? First it was out there for, helping to support you, for stability. Now it's out to what? Destroy you, take you out. This is Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 5. It says, the just Lord Yahweh Shem Shai is in the midst thereof. He will not do iniquity. Every morning, right? Every day, if he bring his judgment to light. So every day somebody's being judged somewhere, some way, somehow. Even right now as we speak, somebody's being judged. When you go to sleep, somebody's being judged. When you wake up, somebody's being judged. When you go to eat breakfast, people are getting judged around the clock. And Lord willing, we don't be a part of that judgment. Lord willing, we be of the elect. If it be of the will you have by Shem Shai. But other than that, judgment is ain't nobody gonna halt or steal his judgment. It's gonna continue to run rampant throughout the earth, right? Because people are wicked, right? They say, well, he faileth not, so he's not gonna fail when it comes to his judgment. The Lord ain't gonna drop the ball and it's time for your ass to go. No, you're gonna go right there on time, right? They say, well, but the unjust, right? Ultimately, the unjust really go into our people because they were given these just laws, statutes, commandments, but what? They forsake them. They say the Lord is not, he ain't this, he ain't that. So that unjust, they know of no shame. But shame gonna, cover them when the time for the judgment come. When they, like the Lord said, man, when they gonna mock when your fear cometh. When you see all these things start to come to pass and all that, kiki, giggling, laughing, all this and that. Oh, y'all crazy, y'all this, y'all that. What y'all doing this for? Well, all that, all that glory, your self-glory, your pride. That shit gonna what? It's gonna turn to shame. Because why? Yahweh Shem Shai gonna lead you down to a path of calamities, lamentations, mournings, and woes, and then ultimately what? Death. And that's ultimately why I'm just gonna leave it off right here, man. Understand, man, death is running rampant, right? Like, hey, we don't know who gonna die and who gonna live. We just have a hope. You know, we have an expectation. Lord willing, we continue to do the things that please the Lord to receive salvation. But as far as, everybody else, man, hey, you never know when it's your time to go. So it's best to get on the right-hand side of the Yahweh Shemel Shai, or you get left. So, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying to the sincere brothers and sisters out there listening. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakak Wadash. The violence to our apostles and elders, a great millstone, who rule well. And peace and blessings to the old full elect. Shalom.